So, due to time constraints, today's episode will be done from the car. So, welcome to Smark Stories. So, here we go. As I continue to say so a lot, like I am knitting a sweater, or sewing one actually. Anywho, huge pay-per-views over the weekend, all kinds of good stuff happening. 3 belts changed hands at Impact Sacrifice. Title stayed with Trey Miguel. The Impact Tag Team Championship, the Women's Tag Team Championship, and the Women's Championship all switched hands. So we've seen sorry, my brain left me. So Good Brothers lose the Impact Tag Team Championships. Kind of bummed about that because I'm an Good Brothers fan, but never fear, they will have their day in the sun again, I believe, because they are awesome, in my opinion. If they don't, though, man, those guys have had a great career. They've been champions all over, and those guys are hilarious. They're great workers. I don't think I can say one negative thing really about the Good Brothers. Like I said, Impact Women's Tag Team titles changed hands. The Influence have them now. Trey Miguel kept the X Division Championship. Seemed like overall a pretty good show. So 2 good pay-per-views this weekend. Eddie Edwards defeated Rhino, and they had a bunch of people in both of their corners. It was a huge list. I'm still trying to get back into Impact, so I can't remember who all was involved. Honor No More, I think, was the name of the tag team that was out there with Eddie Edwards. And then like Rich Swann, and I think Willie Mack was out there with Rhino. But Eddie Edwards ended up defeating Rhino, which I think it's great that Rhino is still wrestling. Not saying that in like a negative way, but there's a lot of guys that he used to wrestle with ECW days wise that are at the sunsets of their careers, and they seem like they're still all moving along very well. So I think that's great. And the dude's so awesome. We seen Revolution open up with Jericho versus Eddie Kingston, and it seems like it was a pretty good match overall. Eddie Kingston got the win with a submission. Very, very cool that first off, you open up a show with a huge person, like a huge wrestler like Chris Jericho. I think that's always good for a show. I had been questioning it here lately with Roman Reigns or Lesnar opening it up for like the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship when it comes to WWE shows, because I'm like, that's for one of their main belts. Is that really a good idea? And I know it's been done, in the past and things, but I don't know. I had been questioning it there, and I didn't like it there. Not because of the big stars being in it, but because I felt like the title deserved to be higher up in the card itself, because you're trying to convey its prestigiousness. But I am getting way off track here, so let's get back on track. We see, that start the show off. Really cool way to start it off. The crowd is to reference the Busted Open podcast that happened today between Tommy Dreamer and Bubba Ray Dudley. You hear, like they said, crowd's red hot. You're going to throw that match at them right out the gate, which is a great idea, because it's a lot of it had, they likened it to the MJF CM Punk storyline, and I think that they were right in some aspects of that, because it's very much, at this point, Punk and Jericho are both legends, so to kind of liken it to the young guys having an issue with the legends having issues with the young guys, yeah, okay, I get it. So we see those 2 stories building up to Revolution, and to keep them kind of separated, you put one on one end and put one more towards the other end. Great idea, and I think to have such a solid opening as what that match is, from what I've read and from what I've heard, I can't wait to watch it. I have yet to like have the opportunity to watch an actual AEW pay-per-view. I've only been able to see highlights and stuff like that. But man, I tell you what, they are, like I said in the last video, it is a great time to be a wrestling fan. You had 2 pay-per-views going on this weekend. That's excellent. It's WrestleMania season. The buzz is in the air for everything. Continuing on with the Revolution card before I get way sidetracked again. It's been one of them days, so I apologize. We see... What match do I want to talk about next? I was going to try and go in order, but I don't think my brain's going to allow me. So let's talk about the Revolution, Face of the Revolution match. They've got the big old brass ring looking thing hanging above the ring for the ladder match, and you see some really good guys in there. Orange Cassidy, Wardlow, Keith Lee, Christian Cage. Let's see, I'm trying to think of who all I've forgotten to say. I'm sorry, the one guy's name that I'm trying to think of is escaping me at the moment, and I'm spending way too much time trying to think of what his name is. Ice off of the top of a truck. We're gonna get out from behind him. Ricky Starks, or however you say his last name, was in there, and he had some really cool moments. He actually almost won the thing, and then Wardlow powerbombed him onto a ladder. I seen that in a highlight, man. That was really cool. Keith Lee had some really cool spots with the guy that I can't remember his name. I will put it down here at the bottom and make fun of myself like I typically do in these videos. And that's one of the fun things I do enjoy about these videos. We are here to have fun. With my historical stories videos, they're a little bit more serious. I try, because I'm trying so hard to convey good knowledge. With these, I'm just here to talk wrestling. I'm just here to talk wrestling and have a good time. And I think there for a couple of these episodes, I was trying to be more like too much news related, but I'm kind of finding my groove. And yeah, I'm talking big topics. I'm weighing in on them a little bit. And I feel like maybe I was trying to be too much like historical stories with the wrestling videos. And what I mean by that is I was trying to be too much like, all right, here's what happened. Here's kind of what I think. No, with it being a wrestling thing, what's it matter? We're just here to be entertained. That's why we enjoy these things. And Control Your Narrative did their first show. We'll get to that here in a little bit because I am, again, trying to get ahead of myself. I apologize. The dog collar match between Punk and MJF, and brutal match. Both guys ended up really bloody from what I've seen. And one thing that I did see is Wardlow comes out, tosses Punk the ring, and Punk hits MJF with the ring. I was in a hurry this morning to watch it, so I don't know if that was exactly the finish. I do know Punk got the W though, and which I think is a good way to do it because MJF got the 2 wins over Punk in Chicago, so I think it's a good ending there. We'll see what they end up doing with it. Maybe they have them face each other again, but it feels like that was supposed to be the end of the rivalry. You got the dog collars, which AEW, shout out to you guys for bringing back the dog collar matches in the way that you guys have. I think that's fantastic. It's been really cool to see them come into play. You had Brody Lee do one with Cody. You've got this one, and I think there was a third one that is escaping my memory at the moment. Man, it's just, again, good stuff. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a wrestling fan. Well, nope. Before we go to the main event, let's discuss Swerve. Swerve Strickland. There we go. My brain left me again. I apologize. So Swerve Strickland is now in the AEW, and man, he's got a following. I didn't really know anything about him until I watched a little bit of video, but whenever he was like, whose house is this? And the crowd just erupts, Swerve's house. That was really cool. So dude's got some mic skills. It'll be cool to see what all he ends up doing with AEW. Seems like a good acquisition. But now, Adam Cole versus Adam Page for the AEW Championship. Adam Page retains, which I think is a great thing. The reason why, do I want to see Adam Cole eventually be AEW champion? Yes. Do I think now's the time? No. Right now, I am really enjoying the title reign of Adam Page from the things that I am seeing. So I want to keep it that way. So good on you guys for keeping it as such. John Maxley versus Bryan Danielson now. Whoa. Hey there, fella. You stay on your side of the road. So we see those two going at it, and, you know, they kind of play back and forth of, you know, are we going to be a tag team? No, let's face each other. And they continue to do this. Well, another huge acquisition, and to me this one's extremely important because this man has had such a huge career, and if you've been following stuff that's been going on in wrestling, you kind of know some of the stuff that's been going on with this man. But William Regal, King William Regal is now in AEW, and I love it. I think it's going to be great, and especially to bring him out at the end of that match and have it, like, tell them two guys, shake hands. I think that's such a great way to do it because he means so much to both of those guys, and that's another thing the Busted Open guys talked about in their podcast this morning. Make sure that you listen to it. Link will be in the comments. Nope, link will be in the description. Sorry. I'm getting used to, like, the different things between TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. I'm trying to get it all down. We're getting there though. So, man, just so many great things going on right now in wrestling. You had the PCO and Jonah match where PCO took some huge bumps, and they played it off as, you know, oh, my neck is injured and everything. And so now you want to tune in to the next episode of Impact. You know, and that's the same for AEW with Revolution. You know, they set it up with, well, what's going to happen now between Eddie Kingston and Jericho? Are they done? Or is, you know, Kingston going to be moved on to somebody else? I agree with something that Tommy Dreamer said, and you should listen to the Busted Open podcast. I'm going to really champion this episode with that episode. So listen to it because he makes a lot of sense with what he says about what he thinks they should do with Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. And I do think they should continue on right now, and that they should have it be where they end up doing a non-sanctioned barbed wire match to end the feud, which I think would be a great way to do it because of the way that Eddie Kingston works. I think it would work out really well. And, you know, Chris Jericho's kind of at almost that Terry Funk level, if you think about it, that Terry Funk was at in ECW, where Terry Funk's the huge main name draw type guy. I mean, yeah, obviously, like I mentioned earlier in the video, you got CM Punk, and there's Bryan Danielson there, and John Moxley, and several great names, huge names. So it's not exactly an ECW situation. But Jericho is one of the most elder statesmen as far as age goes, and experience, and being a huge star in the locker room. So that's why I liken him and compare him to what Terry Funk was for ECW. And, you know, he can help, you know, really make Eddie Kingston something. Not that Eddie Kingston's not something right now, but it would be a great stepping stone for Eddie Kingston. That's what I'm trying to say. And to have it, the match they already had is a huge stepping stone, I think. But I think continue the feud with those two guys for a little while, and then eventually we will see what this is my thought. Eventually to see Eddie Kingston after the feud where, you know, the barbed wire match is done, the dust is settling, Eddie Kingston becomes a challenger for Adam Page. Now, I'd like to see Adam Page beat Chris Jericho's record of 182 days with the championship. I want to see Jericho be the first two-time AEW champion. I'm going to go ahead and say that. And if it's not Jericho, I want it to be Maxley. But I want to see Adam Page versus Eddie Kingston. And I want to see... this is what I would do, just because I think it'd be a really cool story. Basically, have it be 3 pay-per-view, so like 3 months long, or you can even draw it out even further and them not face each other 3 times in a row, which would actually probably be even better. And you could do one as like a Dynamite match, and like maybe have that one be the middle out of the 3 matches, but have it be like maybe even 4 matches, really, because of the way I'm thinking right now. Have it be like Eddie can't beat Adam Page for the big one. Eddie can't beat Adam Page for the big one, and it keeps happening. So, at one pay-per-view, I can't beat him. Rematch, because, Eddie gets that opportunity. Boom. Loses again. Maybe it goes away for a little bit, but all of a sudden, random championship match on Dynamite. Okay, boom. You got them going against each other again. Eddie can't do it. All of a sudden, you're at, another pay-per-view, and, they put a stipulation on it. This is how it's going to end. And then, that's how it ends. Or, another cool thing would be, okay, the first 2 times, Eddie can't do it. When's the 3rd time? Okay, we put a stipulation on that 3rd time. I want to face you one-on-one, no stipulations, for the 4th time, and have Eddie defeat Adam Page for his first title defense. That would be cool, too. Because, obviously, rematch clauses and stuff like that. But I regardless of which way you would end up doing that, I think it'd be great storytelling. Just my opinion. Control your narrative. Their not pay-per-view, but their show got a lot of heat from what I had seen. I hadn't seen a whole lot about it, except for people weren't happy that there weren't chairs. It's an indie show in the back of a bar. I thought it would be a little bit more than that myself, but maybe the venue didn't have chairs. Maybe as far as enough chairs to do something like that, because it sounds like there was something else going on in another section of the bar too. These guys are young. They're just starting out. Let's see what happens. They've got another show coming up soon in Texas. Let's see what happens with it. They're not starting off real great, I don't think, in a lot of people's minds. I don't know. Like I said, I really don't know much about it other than that. Congrats on doing your first show in this aspect. I hope it gets better for you guys. I want to see it succeed, personally, because it would be another option out there for everybody. And right now, I think options are needed. Especially with all that dead weight. Whatever. Anywho, speaking of the Fed, so to speak, we've seen, if you guys kind of paid attention, Austin Theory was supposed to be, if you guys remember from the video that I did, back a little bit, or from the SmackDown where Heyman was like, we'll see if you're still champion after the Madison Square Garden event. Well, Lesnar's still champion after the Madison Square Garden house show. And they did a good job of setting it up for WrestleMania, and they did a good job selling that you need to go to house shows, because they had it where, okay, Lesnar comes in, and then out of nowhere, boom, Roman Reigns with the Superman punch, just downright down and dirty, and man, it's gonna be a good match. I want to see him throw a stipulation on it besides the unification. I want to see him throw him inside the cell. I think a WrestleMania cell match between those two would be amazing. Get Heyman not involved. really, honestly, even if they have it, which they probably will have it, where Roman Reigns is the first unified guy, which I got to remember because I want to talk about the unification thing here in a minute. You know, be the first unified guy this time around and everything like that. That just seems like something that they would do. Fine. You know, have it kind of play out like the Cell match did between Undertaker and Lesnar, where, you know, all the crazy different things happen, where, you know, Heyman's handcuffed to the cage. You know, do something cool with the Usos, get them involved. You could even get somebody else involved. Do something like that to kind of further that along. One thing that I do think is cool that WWE is doing is the tag team of Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. I think that's great. I like that. But that's what I want to see for the Unification Championship match. I want to see him put a stipulation on it. It doesn't even have to be that. Make it a strap match. Make it, you know, a shave your head match. You know, something. I really like the 2 out of 3 falls idea that I came up with in one of the previous videos. That would be really nice. You got 2 nights to work with anyways. Not that you don't have enough stuff going on that you can't fill both nights with a lot of really cool stuff, but just a thought. I think that'll do it for today. You know, my wife's I'm probably gonna get an earful for doing this for a while I was driving, so want to thank my sponsors, good, you know, delicious coffee, Spousal Abuse, and Sierra Nova Comics. No, it's not really Spousal Abuse. I'm just kidding, of course. But she's awesome. Love you, babe. Thank you for your support. And be sure that you follow me on all my socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. This here, if you're not following me on this, and this is the first video that you come across, we're here to have a good time on all platforms. Make sure that you're checking out my comic book over there at Sierra Nova Comics on their platform. My 2 poetry books that I've done so far are up on Amazon. And I guess that's it. All that stuff will be down in the description as well. Holy cow. Thank you so much for braving it all the way to the end of this video. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. And we will see you later on in the week for more Smark stories. And there's a ton more content coming out as well. Y'all rock.